This lighting is kind of striking, isn't it? Hello. Right now it's 3:45 in the morning, and I couldn't sleep, so I figured we can do a reaction today. It'll have to be a semi-ASMR reaction because no one's awake. But yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go, but I wanted to watch this video for a long time, and I'm wide awake now, so let's watch it. It's called How Cube Nearly Destroyed CLC by Mera, and this video has a lot of views. It has 576,000 views, so I have high expectations because it seems to be a well-regarded video. Yeah, I really hope this turns out okay, because a lot of people have requested this one, so it would be it would suck that I would have to cut it because of a technical difficulty. This lighting is really striking, isn't it? How Cube Nearly Destroyed CLC by Mera. 3, 2, 1.
If you expected this to be a hate video, you're in the wrong space, buddy. I'm sure Stan Twitter will cover you if you're looking for that sort of content, but not here. This is not a video to complain about the members of CLC. I don't think they're at fault for the things we're about to talk about, nor do I see them or the other artists mentioned in this video as the targets of criticism about their management. If you love CLC more than life itself, or you don't give a shit about them, great, totally cool. I just ask that you leave your opinions about the members, your opinions about the fandoms, and your opinions about the other artists mentioned here out of your consideration for the video. CLC is one of the most confusing groups in K-pop. Not because of concept or music or performance, but in terms of success and in terms of management, CLC doesn't make sense. Their fans would argue that CLC are some of the hardest working idols in the industry and one of the more unique flavors in K-pop, yet they carry a reputation for being criminally underrated. CLC has been around since 2015, which makes them one of the well-established third-generation groups, but they only received their first music show win in 2019, 4 years after debut. CLC is one of those groups almost everyone has heard of, but surprisingly few people outside of the fandom know much about. A lot of people probably couldn't tell you what the letters CLC stand for. It's an abbreviation of crystal clear, if you're wondering. As someone who isn't a Cheshire, I wanted to explore what about their situation has hindered greater success and whether or not CLC are truly underrated. Are they cursed? Is Cube a flaming pile of shit? Or is CLC just like the majority of K-pop groups? Completely fine, but not interesting enough to warrant mass attention. Why is CLC's reputation so out of proportion with their success? It all starts with Cube, the company that created and owns CLC. While Cube is not a big three company, they do have considerable status in the industry. For a while, a lot of people thought that outside the big three, the #1 company was Cube, until 7 guys came along and fucked everything up. But before that, Cube was one of the few companies that could make the big three sweat, with big name acts like 4-Minute, Beast, and B2B. Only one of those groups is still in commission, take that as you will. At this point, Cube has 2 big groups, Beast and 4-Minute. The industry was moving into the 3rd generation, and Cube would need a new group to stay above the water. March 19th, 2015. CLC debuts with the song Pepe, which had a conventional pop sound and a teen girl concept. Presumably Cube didn't want to debut a group that would compete with 4-Minute, so they gave CLC a cuter traditional pop concept. 4-Minute had been one of the more popular girl groups of the 2nd generation, so the ground was pretty much laid for a Cube girl group to be an instant success. Well, that didn't really happen. This was the first of many, many management mistakes over the next 4 years. With the lower budget video and promotions, CLC's concept was completely swallowed by an oversaturation of cuter girl pop. Lovelyz, A-Pink, Very Good had debuted in the previous years. In 2015 you had G-Friend and Oh My Girl. Oh, and a little group called Twice. Everyone was doing colorful girl pop in some form or another. So where did that leave CLC? Practically invisible. The album underperformed compared to others of its kind, and the music video to this day only has 11 million views. CLC's debut was underwhelming to the point where most people either can't remember it or have never heard of it. Even with so many groups doing similar concepts, it didn't really make sense that a Cube group would debut so poorly, until you take a look behind the scenes. Cube underwent serious changes just after CLC's debut, switching CEOs for the second time in 4 years, moving the headquarters to a new city, 4Minute disbanded, Cube Cafe getting evicted and moved, Pentagon debuted, and Beast officially left Cube. To name a few. Basically, a whole lot of money switched a whole lot of hands, and 2015 had a general air of complete incompetency. Cube lost money by the bucket loads, and CLC's debut projects were eclipsed by a whole lot of fuckery that never truly went away. February 29th, 2016.
Oh, I haven't heard this before.
In the midst of all the chaos, CLC returned with High Heels, and 2 new members were added to the lineup, Elke and Unbeam. At the time, Unbeam was participating in Produce 101's first season, so adding her was both a boon to marketing and a curse to promotion. She couldn't promote with the group, and the attention she brought with her from Produce 101 wasn't usable. Just a side note, suddenly adding members to groups usually comes with a feeling of damage control, which is a pretty good indicator of how things were going for them at the time. The additions of Elke and Unbeam did rejuvenate some excitement as well as some criticism, but they weren't enough to bring CLC back into the public eye. And it gets worse. This oversaturation would eventually explode into the blockbuster success that is Blackpink, who debuted in the second half of 2016 and have dominated the badass side of concepts ever since. In the same year, Twice hit it big with Cheer Up, and Red Velvet hit top 5 on Gaon with Russian Roulette. Twice was running the game in Cute and Colourpop, Blackpink was holding all of the attention for Badass, and Red Velvet was handling basically everything else. The seeds for the top 3 girl groups were sown in 2016, and CLC wasn't one of them. CLC used this debut concept 4 times: Pepe, Like, High Heels, and No OO, and the market didn't have the space to care about another colorful, eager rookie girl group with matching outfits and a limited budget. So why were they still doing it? Presumably, Cube didn't want to battle out funds from 4Minute, who were Cube's bad girls at the time. Having a badass group and a cuter group would give Cube versatility and allow them to expand their demographics. Unfortunately, they released CLC at the absolute worst time, and they promptly became invisible. So what would CLC have looked like without the fear of stealing from 4Minute? Well, we were about to find out. By the end of 2016, 4Minute disbanded. January 17th, 2017. If you're not
really
a
like the
CLC fan,
editing.
this is probably where you come in.
I have not seen this yet. This is Hobgoblin. I can't pop yet. Can't yet. This is a really long part of the song.
Hobgoblin changed the game for CLC. It was not only their most successful comeback at the time, Hobgoblin was a complete rebranding for CLC. The comeback had EDM, trap, hip-hop inspired sounds, and a sexy, dangerous bad girl concept. The group was completely revamped. No more promotion issues, no more hiatus. All 7 girls, 6 songs, with the album.
Okay, I'm not gonna start from the beginning of the song because I don't want to spoil it too much for myself. But yeah, we're gonna play again. It's playing. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
No more hiatus. All 7 girls, 6 songs,
Wow,
with the
Elke
album charting at 6
amazing
on the
with that
Billboard
hair.
World for Albums, and Hobgoblin charting at 4 on World Digital Song Sales. Hobgoblin broke open CLC's attention like a piñata. They didn't have casual listeners and diehard lovers anymore. They had an actual commercial fan base occurring on both a domestic and international level. The group had their first official fan meet, and CLC was solidified as a serious contender for Artist of the Year. All they had to do was stay in the game and continue to hold attention with their new, more market-appealing concept.
It's amazing.
Well, that was fucked. Cube sneezed, and the whole tower came crumbling down. Universal Music, Cube's main distributor, basically said, "Fuck you," and sold their stake at Cube. Cube turned to Lowen Entertainment, who'd rebranded as KakaOM, and gave their distribution process over to them. For an image of what that looked like, Lowen had been sitting back in their chair, rubbing their hands together, and waiting for Cube to land on their plate with an apple in its mouth. Produce 101 once again ate 2 of Cube's male trainees, and one of them debuted in 101 for the next year. Cube's money was turning to dust, that dust was turning to shit, and that shit was blowing through the air right back onto CLC. You may not know this, but CLC actually had another comeback that year, and once again, the management completely misjudged the market.
Maybe send me
A comeback.
Oh god.
Comeback.
Is it bad?
Where Are You was a ballad with a floral airbrushed concept that was completely lost in the excitement for harder hitting songs. Blackpink was on hiatus and the public was frothing at the mouth for Badass and Powerful. We saw Sunwoo's Gashina, the afterglow of BTS's Wings, and even G-Friend's Fingertip was a notable response to the market. The space for Cute was being eaten up by Twice, who released Knock Knock and their mega hit Signal. Just 1 month before Where Are You, Red Velvet dropped
Oh my
Red
god,
Flavor,
iconic.
which was the undisputed song of the summer. CLC's return with Where Are You was catastrophic. The music video performed abysmally. The
Really?
promotions for Where Are You began on August 3rd and ended August 13th, just 10 days later. It didn't make sense. Hobgoblin made bank for Cube, and despite the money crisis, one would expect some of that to pay off in the next comeback. But you take a quick look at Cube's other functions, and you start to see what was going on. Pentagon had their Japanese debut, and their 3rd Korean EP, and their 4th Korean EP, and their 5th Korean EP.
Nice.
Instead of promoting both groups, Cube pushed CLC into the background after their most successful comeback and put their active money on Pentagon's Japanese marketing and domestic returns. CLC finished the year with 1.5 comebacks, and Pentagon finished with 4.
That's
For
so
all intents
crazy.
and purposes, CLC was suffering for another group's success. CLC wasn't nominated for a damn thing that year and took home no wins. It wasn't a total loss, people knew the name CLC. The public had seen them hold their own with the Girl Crush concept. But the money that Cube had lost in 2016 and felt through 2017 had devastated CLC's production budget. Where Are You was a blow to CLC's new fan base. 2017 was one of the most expansive years in K-pop, with girl
it
groups
is very
exploding
different.
into success, and after their first brush with critical and commercial success, Cube benched CLC and took their money elsewhere. Where Are You was an excuse to put CLC on the chopping block. Something to note. Come 2018, Cube would announce that 2017 was a successful year for them, the likes of which hadn't been seen since 4 Minute peaked. Let's say that Pentagon's Japanese debut was the most expensive project that year. With Pentagon's multinational success and Hobgoblin's revenue, Cube had more than enough money to give CLC another fully fledged comeback on par with Pentagon. They just didn't, and we were about to find out why.
2018.
2018 saw the return of Girl Crush, now welcoming darker concepts and international attention. In the first month, Red Velvet released Bad Boy, which was one of 2018's #1 charting songs. In 2018, CLC reached their 3rd year in activity, still with no first win.
That's so
Things
crazy.
did not look good, and fans began to wonder if CLC was ever going to come back. On February 1st, 2018, CLC released Black Dress. Finally, it seemed like CLC was returning to their Girl Crush concept that had brought them success earlier. Black Dress had EDM, powerful dancing, and an expensive music video. The style and budget of Black Dress shot through the roof. Fans breathed a sigh of relief when Black Dress dropped. It was a callback to Hobgoblin's power and surprise, now with an even better budget and a fresher style. Black Dress peaked at 12 in South Korea and remains CLC's most viewed music video.
Wow.
Fans were beginning to hope that Black Dress would give CLC their first music show win and reorient CLC as a powerful girl group. And then, the attention for CLC just stopped. People
Why?
didn't care about Black Dress after about a course of 2 weeks. Just 3 days after Black Dress came out, a different song peaked at #2 on the Gaon chart.
This is Momoland.
Momoland's blockbuster hit was in action. Took a while to fully take off, but once it did, it was everywhere. Black Dress was sandwiched between 2 of the year's biggest songs, Boom Boom and Bad Boy. The attention the comeback had restored was splintering into different directions. Black Dress's initial success dissipated and never returned. After a few weeks, CLC once again left with no first win. However, while CLC hadn't achieved a music show win, Black Dress brought them a different achievement: international interest. 2018 was one of the biggest years in international expansion. The Korean wave was going wild in America. Apparently, those 7 guys at Big Hit were making waves across the globe. BTS stuck its hand in the dam of American music and broke the whole thing wide open. Subsequently, Red Velvet's Bad Boy charted high in the US, and now people were looking for the next comeback to sink their teeth into. Black Dress brought eyes all the way across the curvature of the earth to CLC, and their international fan base boomed. All CLC and Cube needed to do was not repeat the mistakes of the previous year. They needed at least one more comeback to stabilize what they had built the last 2 years. During that May, CLC was up to something. On their various Instagram accounts and other social media channels, CLC members began posting pictures of themselves posing with roses. In an unofficial setting, fans asked Sorn about a comeback, to which she hinted with the word flower. As long as Cube's attention span could stay on one group long enough to...
Oh, it's Idol.
And then Cube debuted a new girl group. In May of 2018, Cube entered the 4th generation with G-Idol. Despite the confusing name, G-Idol's debut song, La Ta Ta, broke roughly 6 million views in its first week. It's since passed over 100 million, nearly 4 times the size of CLC's most viewed music video. G-Idol experienced near instant fame, both domestically and internationally. La Ta Ta was powerful, elegant, feminine, and a total banger. G-Idol's members were fresh out of their packaging and overflowing with presence. La Ta Ta was one of the most successful debuts of the year. It seemed that G-Idol was partially filling the vacuum left behind by Blackpink's hiatus, and were providing dark, mysterious concepts on top of eerie hip-hop music. Cube had a mega hit on their hands. Following the success of Pentagon's Shine, G-Idol was Cube's new favorite child. G-Idol's success brought them a comeback within half a year, and CLC's comeback was postponed so Cube could rake in that cash. And then the clusterfuck of August 2018 hit.
What happened?
Whatever happened to CLC's comeback? With the roses? Well, we all know what happened to that.
Ice one? What?
Produce 48's final group, IZ*ONE, debuted with the song La Vie en Rose in August of 2018. The group's debut was one of the most anticipated of the year, and the song was a smash success. But then, a choreography demo was leaked, revealing an older version of the song recorded by CLC.
I had no idea.
The song was also written by Mosepick, the same people who wrote Black Dress. CLC's comeback never saw the light of day. Instead, the song was resold and given to IZ*ONE as their debut song, and IZ*ONE absolutely hit it out of the park. There's no denying that. At this point, many fans of both fandoms have concluded that Cube's disregard for CLC would have caused the comeback to flop. Of course, we'll never know for sure, and the song sounds great either way, but where did that leave CLC? It seemed at that point that Cube had well and truly abandoned CLC. Unfortunately, that's not uncommon in the industry. Companies bench, jail, and disband groups all the time just because the money says so. CLC's success had seemed cursed from the very beginning. Their debut was completely drowned out, and their following comebacks were unremarkable. This insufficient start has plagued CLC and Cube throughout their entire career. Hobgoblin brought CLC's success to new heights, but previous financial disasters, poor management decisions, and blatant favoritism crippled that success. Finally, Black Dress lost the battle to more popular songs, CLC lost the battle to more popular groups, and the generation rolled over. The only thing CLC took home that year was a certification as ambassadors to the Korean Insulin-Dependent Diabetes Association. So yeah, there's that. 2019. So yeah, things don't really look so good. The hiatus outgrew the year and spread into a new one. The fear of disbandment hangs over the whole fandom. And so far, that's the story of CLC.
What? Oh, there's more. This is it. My favorite CLC track.
You fucking thought? Soyeon and Yeon had a brain baby called No, which became the A-track for their 8th Korean EP. The music showed a fresher, cleaner concept somewhere outside of Badass and Girl Crush, outside of all their previous releases. The song improves upon their EDM sound and allows the music to rely on CLC's vocals, a skill they've been credited for since debut. And it not only hit number 5 on Billboard, it brought CLC their first ever music show win 4 years after debut.
Oh, it hits different to watch it now.
And Cube was like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on over here? This year alone, CLC has had 3 comebacks and 1 EP. Their other comebacks include digital single Me, which followed their new sound from No. On September 26th, CLC had their most recent comeback, Devil. And finally, Cube, CLC's team, and CLC demonstrated that they learned from Where Are You?
This looks
Devil
good.
was hailed by fans as a proper concept change by providing a truly pop song while also investing in subtly dark concepts and images. The song's lyrics and video theme are reminiscent of their Bad Girl phase, while the colors and peppy sound call back to 2015. And now, you're all caught up. I'm quite sure I don't have all the information on CLC, or Cube for that matter, but that seems to be the tip of the iceberg. No, CLC aren't out of the woods yet. They still don't have a full studio album or enough wins to compete with their label mates. It'll take more successful comebacks to make everyone feel comfortable. But after everything, CLC is still here, and 2019 has been an incredibly successful year for them. I will say this for CLC. Groups who aren't 100% successful right off the block end up becoming stronger groups in the long run and better artists. And CLC's current flavor is one that only CLC could possibly pull off. Every comeback, the members get stronger, more confident, and more secure. Are CLC underrated? Maybe not so much anymore. A more accurate word might be underappreciated. I think Cheshires themselves can express this much better than I can, whether or not CLC gets what they deserve. The current obsession with music video views makes everything look worse than they are. CLC are well liked in Korea, and are beginning to attract even more international attention. They have a dedicated, if slightly starved, fan base, and have had one hell of a great year.
Gosh.
Sometimes, one good year is all you need. Sometimes you need a bit more, and I think Cube would be foolish to bench them again for another year. But from my perspective, CLC are doing pretty damn well for themselves, and I've got every faith they're going to keep forging their own path in the industry. Good luck, girls. We're rooting for you. That's all from me, signing off.
Man. That was a really good video. Okay, now I can speak a little louder. There's a lot of stuff I had no idea was going on, and it is frustrating to watch it. Now after everything has happened, I can't imagine the frustration of being a fan, and not knowing, what's gonna happen. It is really tough, especially if it's a group that you really, really like. This is a really good, I think, well-edited, well-researched video. I can tell that they put a lot into it. There's humor in it, which I really, really like. And gosh, it feels like it's a series of unfortunate events that kind of happened to them, and I'm sad I didn't discover them a lot sooner. But I'm glad I am getting to know them now, and I'm excited to keep going in my CLC journey and to continue supporting them. Anyways, thank you so much to Mera for making this video. It's very, very helpful to new fans like me to have this context. It puts a lot of stuff into perspective, and it makes me want to support them more, and then makes me wish for them to be more successful and to get all of the wins. But that's it for today. It is 4 a.m. So I'm gonna try to go to sleep. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good day. Go to sleep and hydrate yourselves. And I'll see you in the next